So we're going to start with the obvious big topic at the minute, Karl. Howard Stern. It's all up in the air right now. Is he done? Is he retired? Is he been fired? Is he resigning? Whatever. Uh, my big question to you, though, Karl, is that even if just say he was done right now, would that mean, based on how his recent career has been, do you think that Stern has actually ruined his legacy, or do you think that right now he'll always go down as a big radio legend?
Well, everyone will remember the good old days for sure, but he's definitely ruined his legacy. If he came out with a podcast next month, people would check it out for curiosity's sake, but no one would listen to it. He's become a terrible broadcaster. I think the most interesting part about this whole series, of course, he's not getting fired. His contract is up, and they're not going to pay him $100 million a year anymore. He's not worth it, not even close. He has like 125,000 listeners he's maxing out at. So I think the real thing that's interesting here is what happens to the archives. Who gets control of that? Does SiriusXM purchase that? Do they continue to air the old episodes on SiriusXM? And then are they censored the way they are now? Do we get to hear Artie segments again? Do we get to hear all these segments with Daniel Carver and some of the things that Howard's tried to scrub from his past for his new Hollywood persona?
Yeah, but that's the thing, that if his archive, like if just say he set up a Hard Stern Archives YouTube channel, he's fucked, because half that stuff you can't say, all the good stuff that got people into the show. Like I think that even though he's going to retire stinking rich, I think he is done, and I think we'll see him get kicked off pretty soon. But Quad, what's your take on the Stern situation?
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna offer him probably like $20 million when the time comes for it. But I mean, really, they're just floating media stories out there to see what everyone's thinking about this. But yeah, they can't afford to pay Howard Stern $100 million ever again. He's not worth the money. He's getting like 125,000 views a show. It's just not what it. It's not what it used to be. There used to be 20 million people listening to a show. It's not what it was. It's a shell of what it used to be. And at best, he'll be doing Opie style podcasts on YouTube. Similar. They'll both be out there in the Hamptons, wherever they are, by the ocean, talking to a few people.
Just a few days ago, he had Lars Ulrich on the show, and I have no idea why they insist on having Lars on, because Stern is clearly not a Metallica fan. He doesn't do research on Lars, and it's always the same conversation since the mid '90s. But Dane, Perth, Aussie guy, you're a big time Metallica guy, and of course Stern. What do you think is the status with him? Do you think he's done, or are you secretly gay?
Definitely secretly gay. Just reading your scroll here, Hughezy. What to help with vinyl collection? What's going on there? Is that some Irish term? Anyway, it's one of those things. I don't like the idea of ruining a legacy. Like, his legacy is the king of all media, probably the greatest radio host of all time. But he's definitely damaged his legacy, and I don't think anyone cares anymore either way. There's the handful. What's her name? Marianne in Brooklyn. She'll be devastated when he ends, but most people have dropped off. It really isn't that big a news, other than it's Howard Stern, but nobody's been talking about Howard Stern for years. So yeah, I think he probably calls it a day if they don't offer him a good enough contract.
And Hughezy, to your point about Lars Ulrich, because I was listening to a little bit of that. I've heard Lars on the show many times, and Howard praises him as a great metal drummer, which is laughable. As Richard Christie works for Howard, is 500 times better than Lars Ulrich would ever be.
You don't think Lars is any good?
Nobody does. Nobody. Metallica fans don't think he's a good drummer.
Dane?
No, I agree with Karl. He's not a good drummer. He's the drummer for Metallica. Like, I think that's part of why their early stuff is so legendary, is because his drumming is different and weird, because he's not very good at it, but it works with James's riffs and all that.
The funny thing was at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, Lars was playing drums for Back in Black with Brian Johnson, and he fucked it up. and that's one of the most basic beats in the world.
Every AC/DC song is the most basic beat in the world.
So AC/DC stinks as well.
The drumming is so repetitive. I don't know how you sit through an entire concert. I like their songs, but after a while, you're like, oh, this tempo again? Cool.
I can't believe this. Phil, what's your take on the Stern stuff?
I just can't wait till he's on YouTube begging for super chats like me. Come on back down to earth, Stern. Yeah, I mean, that's my take on it. I can't add much more, you know? But yeah, he'll be, I don't see, like you said, he could just archive it all on YouTube. I think that'd be a good move too. But yeah, he's just, he needs to be one of these, I think, who was I listening to? Anthony Cumia was like, he's got to be the guy. Hey, I switch it on. I'm Howard Stern. Welcome to the show. You know, he just needs that in his life. So he'll be in some capacity somewhere broadcasting in some form or another.
I did hear Anthony Cumia telling a story about the one time he saw like Howard he was playing 21 in like Atlantic City, and he was at the $5 table while Anthony was at like the $1,000 hand table. And I don't know, maybe Howard gets excitement about getting like small amounts of money, so maybe a $5 super chat will be right up his alley. That would be interesting to see. You know, some people just get excited by the video lottery aspect of get just the excitement of small dings and bells and whistles. So maybe he'll see those super chats and it'll just light up his life. That would be funny.
But the thing is, if Stern does go, and he's now having to live off his meager savings that he has, watch how quickly he becomes super Republican. Like overnight, he'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck? All these goddamn Mexicans are taking my money."
Is that what Republicans say?
That's exactly what they say.
What Ireland thinks Republicans say? Fucking Mexicans take my money.
Well, they don't say Mexicans. It's another word for I can't remember what they're called, but and they don't say goddamn. But speaking of people being invaded, Echo, you're from shitty, stinking factory, England. Stern was really never as big over here as it was in the US, of course. But what do you think about this? Do you think that Stern goes YouTube, or do you think he makes a filter of his own cock?
No, you're absolutely bonkers. The next move for him, he's going to use this interest a little bit. You know, now people are actually talking about him again. To sign a contract for like 30-40 million with like Netflix or Amazon, and he's going to do a terrible guest interview show with like really big stars that no one will watch, similar to you know, the Prince Harry and Merkel stuff, where they got signed for a load of money to do nothing just so you could say you got them. That's what he's going to do. And then in 5 years time, he's going to do the YouTube thing where we go, oh my god, that's depressing.
I think it's very possible because David Letterman went that route after he left the talk show. He got a deal with Netflix, interviewing celebrities, and Dave and Howard are pretty tight. They communicate quite a bit, so I could see that definitely coming to fruition.
Yeah, why is Netflix so willing to sign these huge contracts with people that have like no interest left in them? It is kind of bizarre because there's no way you can get your money back for signing someone like that.
Because they're not paying for it with their money. That's why they lose fucking money every goddamn year, and they don't give a shit. Yeah,
and international people like in dirty England or let's just say India, they just see the name and they think, oh wow, a Bradley Cooper cooking show. I've got to tune in. He did the voice in the fucking Guardians. That'll be great.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And that's why they did a film earlier this year that this. 11 minutes of this episode is better than a film called Havoc with Tom Hardy. Actual cheesy pizza is better than seeing Havoc. It's fucking terrible. Right, Ozzy?
Yes.
Speaking of films and Howard Stern, here's Tony from Hack the Movies. Karl, that's you, Lady K. What a great joke. Do you like Howard Stern's movie Private Parts? If so, there's a YouTube channel hosted by a New York lady called Kaylee who would love you to come on to review it to hear your thoughts on the movie over at Once Over with Kaylee. What do you say, Karl? Do you go on her show to do it?
I would definitely do that. I love doing Kaylee's show. But yes, I did go to Tony from Hack the Movies studios a few years back, and we talked about Private Parts. along with my buddy Doug from Good Times, Great Movies.
Do you mean this guy?
Hey, Karl, it's the Dark Knight Rises Tony from whatever my show is called. So anyway, I heard your dick smells. Have a great show.
That's the guy. That's what I was talking about.
He's a good kid. A lot
He's
of
going to make it in
potential.
show business someday, I think.
I think that if he just needs to get more of a rub from Kelly. Until then, he's fucked. But you were
I
saying
think we all want more rub from Kaylee.
Explain what you mean.
It's a sex joke, Hughezy. Come on. We all
That's
staring
the
at her tits every WATP. Let's not be lying at this late hour.
We prefer it to be more blunt. You got to say stuff like this to her.
Go suck a dick!
You know, something nice. But you were mentioning him going to Netflix hard, Stern. But the problem is, if he does, that's not going to cover up all his history. Like Letterman has his own. But Letterman has his own controversies. But he didn't bring in. I think they were called whores to literally be laser pointed and judged and be like, "Oh, you need to tone up your legs here."
Well, not on the air, anyways.
They had him on Pop Idol or whatever you call it, over X Factor on there. You know, massive family-friendly TV show. It's fine. It's all in the past. It's all forgiven. No one really cares anymore. It's all good.
Especially if you have the correct politics, they really forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't see anything he does now working because he's just changed as a human being, and he's not what made him popular. He's just another left-wing, pushing the left-wing talking points. He doesn't want to damage his image. He's become so image-focused. I can't see anything working for him going forward.
You know, what people think that Marcy Turk is the person who ruined Howard Stern, but it might be Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel was the guy who started bringing him out to Hollywood, meeting all his famous friends, getting in the A-listers, going on vacations with A-listers and Gwyneth Paltrow and shit. And I think Jimmy showed him the way, here's how you toe the company line. Here's how you don't piss off any of the executives. And you can get invited to the parties. And you could be one of the it guys and have dinner parties with these assholes.
But
that was exactly the...
Sorry, I was just going to say, how much worse would it actually be if he ended his contract and he went, I'm going to be the edgy, shocky, shock jock again. Everyone would be like, no, please. That's even worse than doubling down on it. So, yeah.
That would be good if he has a talk show with a victim and or his. Let's not be sexist here. I think that it kind of like a blind date, but instead you've got to guess who's. See if you can remember, trace back the details. Eccles from England, he'd know about that. But the thing is, who's it was saying that he could have a big name talk show on there? The problem is he already has that, where he has he had Bruce Springsteen on, and it almost ruined my fandom of Bruce Springsteen. In fact, I would even say, get ready to laugh for 20 minutes, everybody. It was boring in the USA. Get it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think about it later and laugh out loud, probably.
Yeah.
Doesn't that
what I was going to say.
More, Hughezy?
Huh?
The fact that he's had all of these big stars on before, that people like Netflix who maybe want these big people on will go, well, if we get him, he'll probably be able to get them to be interviewed again.
I shouldn't have said Bruce Springsteen or on Quad because, on the run, etc. But the thing is, but Netflix have done too many talk shows before, and they just don't work. Like the Letterman one, he had fucking he had on Barack Obama on, and believe it or not, they still didn't win the election. It doesn't matter anymore. So I think
wait. Hold on a second. I don't want to get into politics. I don't even know why we are. They had Barack Obama on and he didn't win the election? What was the election that Barack lost?
Might have been Joe Biden, right? Yeah. Might have been.
Wait a minute. He ran?
In the U.S., we always vote for black people as president. We never vote against them.
It's mandatory.
Yes.
For reparations.
Yeah, that racism, that was bad stuff. Am I right, guys?
Yeah,
I
really.
can see
It was
Wow.
okay.
So,
Incredible.
oh Jesus! What about in Australia? Then they had slaves there, didn't they?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Hilarious slave jokes. Go.
Okay. What do you actually know?
Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, that is exactly the name I was thinking of, because he has a very sordid history with the Man Show, and doing blackface as Shaq, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he got right in line, and if you see the way he talks about politics, that's how you get lockstep with the Democrats, and then you get to stay on TV. It's almost like you're making a deal that you'll have the correct think if you want to make a
you
big.
can watch him and Adam Carolla and watch their career trajectories and see this is the way you do it if you want all the wealth and fame and money.
Right,
This is the
right.
way you do it if you want to maintain what you actually believe and keep your dignity and credibility.
Well,
Gotcha.
more on Adam Carolla soon, but the thing is, I can envision a Howard Stern and Jimmy Kimmel travel show on Netflix, where they walk around all these war-torn countries, holding each other's dicks while they're blocked by security and going, "Oh, this is terrible! What's going on here? This is terrible!" While they're green screened in to make it look like they actually went to fucking Africa, when instead they were just hanging around on Epstein Island having a lovely blue cocktail. Right, Dean?
Yes.
Exactly.
Wasn't he a notorious hermit who didn't leave his house since?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I was like, that's a terrible example. You say
Maybe they could buy Dana Plato's RV and cruise around the country in it.